Hi, happy Tuesday, as my brother would say, Taco Tuesday. So, I woke up this morning feeling a little blue. I'm not sure if anybody else has experienced that, but I do. And I was trying to figure out um, where did it come from. Initially, I started with the surface. How do I feel? I felt kind of like down. I felt um, like something was connecting with me. And I had a conversation yesterday with this lady. um, I noticed that she tells a lot of people like everything that her child does, and this is not like, it doesn't matter how old the child is, but this is like a 5, 6, 7, 8 year old, Um, So every little thing the child does, she tells outside people, and when they see the child, they judge her. So um, I felt like connected to that in a way. I thought about when I first had my daughter, my oldest, excuse me, when I first had my oldest, how when I didn't know what to do or how to help the child with something, I would talk to people that were older than me or someone that had a child that was the same age or anything. And now looking back, hindsight is always the best side, right? But looking back, sometimes I realized even though they may have been older than me, they didn't know how um, to relate, or they didn't know what to tell me to do, and in order for me to handle it the way I needed to. And the way I needed to was to sit down and have a conversation first with myself and try to figure out why it annoyed me so freaking much. And then have a conversation with the child, because at the end of the day, they're just learning also. And we're growing and learning each other. And as I grow, the child grows. So I started thinking about that. And then I thought about connecting. Okay, what made me like that? Like, what made me be that type of parent or that type of person? So I thought about how when I was younger, um, I lived in several homes when I was younger. After my parents split up, I called the bounce around kid. And I, you pick up tidbits from every home you go to. Everyone's personality is different. Therefore, you learn how to, you become adaptable to everyone's home, everyone's way of talking to you or discussing things, communication, basically. And then um, I thought about, okay, my parents, um, my dad was always like, he would talk to you, he would talk to me. And I know he had different relationships with my siblings, but he and I had a really close relationship, and we would talk about everything. And when I was younger, my parents split up when I was 9 years old. So before that, um, I noticed my dad wouldn't go outside the house and talk about me to anyone in any other way other than a good way. Because when I would see like my family, then they would always greet me with open arms, right? But when, like, and this doesn't make anyone bad, so please don't text me telling me that I'm saying something, because or that I'm not saying. So what I'm saying is, um sometimes, because of what's going on within the home, when we go outside and talk about the child or the people within the homes, because I've done it. And from what the lady was telling me, I began to notice myself. And then I began to just dig within myself and realize what experience led me to relate, become so relatable to this lady, you know. And not only the lady, but with the child. So I could relate to both of them because I've experienced it from both perspectives. So, um, how, um, so basically, the lady would talk to other people about the situation that's going on in the home, and then next thing you know, the people in the community or the family members will be around like, ugh, why you do that to your mom, even though it happened like 3 days ago. So then the child has already moved on from the situation. It's no longer a problem because the child, it wasn't experienced, the child grew, the mom talked to her, and then she moved on. But if she's going to consistently be reminded of where she was 3 days ago, even though she's changed, then that means the mom hasn't changed, because the mom, next thing you know, the mom gets involved and began, yeah, she get on my nerves. And it's like, dang, from the child's perspective, I remember feeling like, man, I'm always getting in trouble. Like, I'm not doing anything good. So, and from the parent's perspective, like, dang, right? She always doing shit. Because I remember being like that. Until I started noticing my own self, my own patterns, my own feelings. Like, what was I feeling inside when that came up? One, I wanted to connect with those adults. So therefore, I would tell them what was going on in my home. Um, or I honestly needed a different opinion about how to help the child better. But realizing not everyone can help you with your child. Some people weren't even able to help themselves with their children. So, how do you expect them to be different or treat your child any differently? So, like, talking to her and just watching it, I started thinking about how we as adults sometimes forget that children are still learning, and if we consistently show them who they were, causing guilt and shame and worthlessness, then they're gonna grow up to be just all they see in themselves is the guilt, the shame, the worthlessness that you've shown them. That's all they were. So if someone tells them, man, that was awesome, like that poem you did was great, they're gonna be like, oh, okay. Like, being able to receive goodness would be very difficult, because how can you receive goodness if most of the things you see are bad? How would, or are more harmful than good? How would you be able to see that you've grown if you constantly compare who you used to be to who you are? So, just, I'm glad I realized what was going on with me, because it was bothering me. It was like, ugh, like, why is this eating me up so much? Trying to stretch it out and like figure out what was going on inside of me. And once I began to do my slow, deep breaths and focusing on the present, the experience came to me. Like, the correlation between the two people and my experiences. Remember that children are growing little human beings, so we're teaching them how to respond when someone makes a mistake in their lives. Should they repeatedly bring it up over and over and over again, even after that person has changed? Or should they talk to the person and try to get an understanding, therefore they can tell the person how it made them feel? Oh, okay, I do understand from that perspective, but this is what I was thinking, that's why I responded how I did. You kind of twitched or made a face when you were talking to me. So I thought you was coming from a sarcastic place. So that's why I said what I said, or I assumed what I did. It's all about knowing that your facial expression, your body language, your tone, everything has a language. Like, it tells you, it sends signals. So your facial expression, you just could be thinking like, oh dang, that's what it is. But that facial expression reminded that person of something that they've seen before, and it caused like a reaction that was different. So just a little, just a little lot of learning myself through others. And as you know, that's what it's all about. It helps me grow even more. Therefore, I can become more relatable to other people. And my perspective becomes way bigger than, like, my world becomes bigger because I'm more relatable. And I don't feel so alone, you know? I'm like, oh, I get it. I understand where she's coming from. I know the facial expression that was made. Oh, I know what overwhelmment look like because I've been overwhelmed before. I know what shame looks like because I felt ashamed before. So, you know, being mindful of everything we do, how we feel, because how you feel dictates what you put out. So, mwah. Love you. Happy Tuesday.